Um, I feel like everything that is pulled, all the cards that are showing up here in the spread, really denotes to me a relationship reading. Okay, and for those of you who have been watching me for the past, couple of years, I don't do exclusive love relationship readings, but I do feel that this is coming out as such. Okay, and I also feel like there might be a lot of different people that you're dealing with as well, like either a lot of options, or some of you are dealing with this person, others are dealing with this person, others this person, and so on and so forth. So the reading seems to be like this, okay? The center is you, and then you have like these four other people that you're dealing with. That's what it feels like to me. So I'm going to relay some messages or images that came through when I was shuffling, and then we'll unpack these messages and see how it plays out in the cards, okay? So you've got some, I want to say vivid, very vivid images that came through. First of all, the first image that I saw is I see this man. He's probably like around 45 to 50 years old. He's wearing like a flannel shirt, okay, and he's wearing a coat, a very practical earth tone coat, and denim jeans and a pair of work boots. He's in his driveway and he's shoveling snow. So he's shoveling snow, and it's not fun work. It's heavy duty labor, but there's a lot of snow piled up in front of his truck, and he's trying to take his truck somewhere. So he's shoveling snow, and it seems like he's been at it for like 20 minutes. His face is a little bit red from the cold. His nose is like, starting to run, and it's also like turning red from breathing in the cold air. He finally succeeds, and then he stands up and he kind of leans his weight on his shovel. And he's feeling a little bit of pain shooting down his legs, okay? And I feel like this might be the right side, like the right leg, around the hip area. So I'm thinking something similar to like sciatica, or just something like I don't feel like it's a pulled muscle. I feel like it's a pre-existing spot, okay? So then he puts away the shovel. He's finally able to clear the driveway so that he can move his truck. He gets into his truck, and then he drives to this little diner. So through this, I guess, like moving picture, I feel like he's just going through the motions, okay? Going through the motions. It's cold, it's snowing, and he's just, trying to get someplace warm. He goes to this diner where he goes every day to have his breakfast. And so he sits down at let me see, I guess it's kind of like the counter. This is not a bar, so it's kind of like the counter. And he gets his coffee, he gets his, eggs and whatever, eggs and bacon and whatever, like a hard, sturdy man like him would get for breakfast, and straight black coffee. And there's a woman behind the counter. So it seems as if he goes to this diner a lot because the woman's there, inadvertently, because she makes good coffee, because she's also quite attractive. And I also feel like she's significantly younger than him, okay? By significantly younger, I would say 10 years or more younger than this man, okay? She's pretty, and she's young, and she's really just bubbly, and she's like everything that you could hope for, when you have a gray day and she's serving you food, okay? So she's behind the counter, and she's just like, I saw you kind of limping when you walked up in here. What's going on? And then he touches the side of his hips, like on the right side. He's all like, oh, it's a pre-existing condition. Okay, so that's what he says. And then I kind of hear his thoughts where he's thinking like, the cold triggers it, or it's every year around this time, it bothers me. So he's thinking that. Doesn't tell her, but he's thinking that. She serves him his food, and he's looking at her, kind of like doing her thing behind the counter. And I feel like he's thinking as well to himself that, if I were younger, I would love to have a woman like that by my side. Okay? He's not thinking anything inappropriate. He's just thinking that she's a very lovely lady. She's pretty, she's nice, she's kind, and she seems very observant. So he's thinking that, but he doesn't let his feelings show. So this is a man who's got a very, very rough exterior. He's probably like a blue collar, day laborer. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just feel like, he's somebody that fixes things. He's somebody that uses his hands and uses a lot of force with his job, right? So you don't see the tenderness or the softness in him, but his thoughts are very soft and tender. You don't see it on the exterior of this man, but I feel like, he's got a good heart, okay? He's an honest, hardworking, good man. And the scene cuts out. So what I was seeing here is, I feel like for some of you, you might be the waitress or the hostess or the person working behind the counter, okay? You might be in a position where a lot of people that you normally might not consider your type are kind of secretly admiring you from afar. And this kind of harkens back to the Aries reading that I did, where Aries, they have a lot of admirers and a lot of suitors, but the suitors are kind of looking at Aries like they want to have a screaming good time with Aries. But I feel like your admirers are thinking like you're a really good person, you're a really good man, or you're a really good woman, and they wish they could find a really good man or a really good woman like you. They see the gentle way in which you deal with people. They see the friendly way and the ease in which you have conversations with others. They see the ease in which you're able to smile and make people feel at ease. And I feel that it's really comforting it's just like, they're naturally very drawn to you. And what's really interesting is with Aries, and the reason I mention Aries, excuse me for those who are not familiar, Aries is your opposite sign, it's your shadow side, okay? So the energy playing out for Aries in their love sector is also very similar to you. But with Aries, because they're a fire sign, they attract very fiery types of personality as well, where their admirers declare, verbally declare their love to them. And I feel like whereas for you guys as an air sign, all of these thoughts and feelings are felt by your admirers, but it's kept in the mind, it's kept in the mental space. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And I just feel like if you find yourself in a situation where somebody keeps crossing paths with you, I don't think it's an accident. I think that they're purposely, either purposely or subconsciously, very drawn to you, and they want to be in your presence and they want to be around you. So it's not just, serendipity or like, oh, coincidence. You're here. I saw you the other day over there and now you're here. What are the odds? They're not stalking you or creepily invading your space. I don't feel that. I don't feel any creepiness or any stalkerish vibe. I feel like subconsciously they're very drawn to your warmth. And funnily enough, I did the reading for Aquarius and Gemini, and in one of those readings, your fellow air signs, I mentioned that somebody was very drawn to your warmth. So for whatever reason, air signs are not typically like considered warm. No offense, we're not considered warm. We're considered friendly and easy and easy to talk to. but not super warm the way that a water sign would be. But for some reason, I mentioned, I think it was the Aquarius reading, that people find them very warm. So there's something happening in the month of December is bringing out your caring, nurturing, warm side, and it's making it very visible. But I digress. Either way, I'm going back to this image, and there's another message that came through, so let me relay that before I forget. This man is a habitual, like, patron of this diner, okay? So he might have started going there before the waitress or the hostess works there. Or he might have started going, so I don't know the ins and outs of that. But I just feel like he plops himself right by the counter under the guise of, it being convenient because he's there by himself. But because he enjoys chatting with and looking at this woman. And so I feel like, it's not a coincidence. If you keep seeing somebody mulling around or in your vicinity, or like you constantly run into them, I feel that they're energetically thinking about you and drawn to you and admiring you. And I also feel like they're definitely interested, but the way in which they show their affection, they might be a little bit rough around the edges. They might not feel like they're good enough for you, or they might not feel like they're your type. Okay, they might not feel like they might not feel like the feelings are mutual from your end, and so they never say anything. Okay, so that's just what I saw first. So for those who are single, give people a chance, because I'm seeing here there might be a really good man or a very good woman in your environment that would be a very suitable relationship partner for you. Not only that, for those of you who are looking for like a serious partner, somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with, I feel like there's somebody here that wants to go the distance. They'd rather be single than be in the wrong relationship, right? So it's not someone who's desperate for a relationship. They know themselves. They know what works for them. So they'd rather be with you rather than, just date around and be in bad relationships. So I feel, in a way, this person might have entered your radar, but might have not caught your attention because they might not have felt like, that they're your type. And you might have like a working relationship with them where you just never thought it was possible that there might have been romantic feelings or romantic thoughts or, inclination from their end to want to date you. So I feel like it's like, I don't want to say a misconnection because, the person's always there, but I feel like, the feelings are never talked about. Okay. So there's a really good man, a really good woman in your midst. And so, keep your eyes out if you're single. Okay. So having said that, let's talk about these 4 characters. First of all, for those of you who, okay, so let me try to remember that image that I saw here. Okay, there's a message here. Something it's like he said, and the words that he said really resonated. Like, every year around this time, it bothers me. Okay. So he's talking about like a physical discomfort. But I feel like for many of you, it's not just a physical discomfort. It's something that gets triggered every now and then, every holiday season, every time of the year, or even, every change in weather. Okay, so we're in the month of December. It is the winter time in the Northern Hemisphere. So I feel like something is being triggered either seasonally, climatically. Maybe it's the holiday season and we're being triggered by our parents. But I feel like it's a situation where it's uncomfortable physically, and then it becomes uncomfortable kind of emotionally. Okay. And so I do feel like there might be a lot of squabbling between you and a significant other over something that gets triggered every year around this time. For some of you, this could have to do with, the blending of the family, co-parenting. Do we send the kids to this place or do we send the kids to the other place? If you're in like blended family, that also becomes a source of contention. Do I take my kids or do my ex get to keep the kids for these major holidays? Do I spend, time with my new wife, my new husband and their kids? Or do I spend my holidays with my ex and my child with the ex? So it's like complicated, okay? Things are complicated. And so I feel like something is recurring. And then I also feel for many of you, the message that I'm getting here is just because there is conflict amongst people, it doesn't mean that the love is not there. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you, because that's what chose to come out. So that's what like just kind of oozed out. So I feel like it's kind of telling you, if you're dealing with somebody and every single time you talk about this one topic, it triggers conflict, it triggers like disagreement, it triggers lack of consensus, it just triggers like really raw emotions within you and then within that other person. And just because it does that, it doesn't mean that there is, zero compatibility. It's just you feel really strongly about this topic. They feel really strongly about this topic. This might just be a hot trigger topic for you and this person. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, and it doesn't mean that, you guys are doomed. Okay? It doesn't indicate to me that this is a sign, this is not the person for you to be with. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that even the best relationships, go through periods of abundance and drought. Even the best, healthiest relationship involves quarrels, involve disagreement. And actually, a dose of disagreement strengthens a relationship, okay? So once again, I'm going to give that analogy with the tree. I don't describe it very well, but I'm just going to try. So when you have a tree, okay, the tree has to deal with inclement weather. It has to grow in a place where there's a lot of wind, where there's a lot of rain, where there's a lot of just, it has to be exposed to the elements for the trunks to become stronger, for the tree to learn to grow straight. And so adversity is the stuff of life, okay? It fortifies us. It makes us stronger. So arguments within the relationship serve the same purpose in that it strengthens the relationship. It allows you to stand your ground, and it allows the other person to stand theirs. And it allows the two of you to learn to compromise, to learn to work around each other. It strengthens the relationship. So every relationship requires a healthy dose of arguments, disagreements. Okay? And the reason why I say this is we have the Five of Swords, which is bickering. So you see this card, there are 3 chickens, and it's clucking. You know how when the chickens just cluck? It's very irritating. It's very annoying. And at the end of the day, it's just clucks, just noise. No one is really hearing one another. But it's joined up here with the Two of Cups.